Social and Emotional Learning, Pre-K and Kindergarten, Lesson 8. Self-Control.
Hi friends, and welcome back to episode 8 of SELTV on the Motivation Station. We are so excited to be back. We're on our 8th episode with you guys for SELTV, Social and Emotional Learning for Pre-K and Kindergarten friends. My name's Christina Coppola. I'm a social and emotional learning specialist, and I'm going to be joined today by my friends Trace and AJ, and today we're going to be learning about self-control. Now, last time we were together, we talked about the power of our words, and we focused on stop and think before you speak and decide if what you're going to say is helpful or hurtful. And if something's helpful, we're going to speak it. And if something's hurtful, we're just going to keep it and think it in our heads. So I hope you guys have been practicing it since the last time we met. But before we get into our topic of self-control today, we always start our sessions with our mindfulness practice. Now remember, mindfulness is taking the time to focus on what's happening right now in the present moment. Mindfulness is great because it exercises your brain, it helps you to focus, it helps you to learn new things, and it helps you to be in control of your emotions and your body. For today's mindfulness practice, we are going to do bumblebee breathing. But we always start our mindfulness practice in seated mountain. That means we're sitting crisscross, applesauce, nice and tall like there's a piece of string, holding your head up. And today for our mindfulness practice, we're going to start by rubbing our hands together. Rub them fast and you'll start to feel that they get very warm. That warmth is coming from the energy of your body. Then you're going to put those over your eyes. Now, this makes you look a little bit more like a bumblebee, but if you don't feel comfortable with your hands over your eyes, you can take them off, put them back, or you can do it without your hands over your eyes. But it's really cool to feel the energy that your body creates over your eyes. It can give you some calm. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath in. And when you breathe out instead of blowing, you're going to hum. Okay, so let's do it together. Deep breath in. Hum. Nice job. Next one. Deep breath in. Hum. Last one. Deep breath in. Hum. Pretty cool, right? That humming actually gives you a little tickle inside your mouth, but it does create some calm inside your body. You guys ready to try it with my friends Trace and AJ today? Let's go! Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with our mindfulness practice. So we're going to get in seated mountain. That means we're sitting crisscross, applesauce, nice and tall like there's a piece of string, holding your head up. And we're going to do our bumblebee breathing. But before we start our breathing, we're going to rub our hands together and get them nice and warm. And then you feel that energy. That's your own energy, that heat. And we're going to put them over our eyes like this. And we're going to take a deep breath in and breathe out with a hum. Deep breath in and out. Last one. Deep breath in and out. Do you feel like a bumblebee? Anybody have a tingly in their mouth from all that humming? Bumblebee breathing. Did you like that, AJ? Yeah? All right. So today, friends, we said we were going to be talking about self-control. So what is self-control, and why should we learn how to do it? Have you ever been told to wait your turn? Have you ever been told that you have to finish this before you can do something else? Do you have a really hard time raising your hand before you talk? All of those things are about self-control. And sometimes self-control can be really hard, especially if you're really excited about something, or you know the answer and you want to show just how smart you are. It can be really hard to have self-control. When you don't have self-control and you blurt things out, or you snatch things out of people's hands, or you move on to something before you've finished something else, that's called impulsivity. Big word. Impulsivity means that you're doing things before you're thinking. Sometimes when we do things quickly like that, without taking the time to think, we don't always make the best choices, or we might be too rough, or we might be too loud, or we might say the wrong thing. And that's why self-control is really important. So self-control is really hard, even for grown-ups. You'll see today that we are practicing self-control with two of my friends. We have AJ, who's 2 years old, and we have Trace, who is 5 years old. And you'll see the difference between how Trace has self-control and how AJ has self-control. So self-control is something that gets a little bit easier as you get older, but the main way it gets easier is because we practice self-control. So let's say you're having a hard time with self-control. Let's say that every time you sit next to your brother, you guys end up getting into a fight, or you start tickling each other and doing things that get you in trouble. Well, one of the first strategies you can use to help you with your self-control is to change what you can about a situation. So what do I mean, change a situation? Well, I mean, if every time you're sitting next to your brother, you guys end up fighting, then maybe you should sit somewhere else until you can get self-control. Maybe if every time you and your brother play race cars, you get into an argument, then maybe you should pick a different game to play until you guys get more self-control. This could also mean choosing friends to hang out with that it's easier for you to get along with so that you don't have to worry about having so much self-control. Sometimes having self-control can just mean remembering what the rules are before you get into a situation. So, for example, if you're walking into the library, you could stop and think, what are the rules when I'm in the library that are going to help me have better self-control? Well, I know in the library, we stay at a level 0, which means that we're really quiet. If I remember that before I go into the library, it can help me have better self-control over how loud I talk. We all lose control sometimes, but one of the best ways to deal with losing self-control is to have a plan. That can mean having some things that you already remember that you could say when you start to feel like you're losing self-control. I can give you some examples. When someone is in my space and I can feel myself getting angry and starting to lose self-control, I could say out loud, I need some space. By saying that out loud, that lets people know that I'm starting to lose self-control and I need them to walk away to keep everybody safe and happy. Sometimes when we lose self-control, we need the help of a trusted adult to help us get out of the situation. So I might have a plan when I walk into a room to say, oh, it's right over there on the bench. I'm going to be playing on the playground. If I start to lose self-control, I know that I can ask my mom for help. Sometimes having a plan like when I'm starting to feel like I'm losing self-control, I'm going to put my hands in my pocket to keep people safe. Or sometimes when I feel like I'm losing self-control, I'm going to catch a bubble in my mouth so that I don't say things out loud that I shouldn't be saying. Catching a bubble just means closing your mouth like a fish. Sometimes that can help us from saying things out loud that need to stay in our heads. Sometimes a distraction can help us with self-control. All a distraction means is doing something different than what you were doing when you felt like you were losing self-control. I'll give you an example. If I was building with blocks and the building just kept knocking over, and I'm starting to get really angry, and I'm getting so angry that I'm about to throw a block across the room, I could get up and go pick up a book instead. That's distracting myself so that I can gain control. Doing something else to get my mind off of what was getting me upset. So today, we're going to practice some games to help us develop our self-control. The first game we're going to play is called Freeze Dance. And Freeze Dance is a really fun game where you could play it yourself at home with music on the radio. We played with a drum that we have in our playroom. But when the music goes fast, you're going to move your body really fast. But when the music goes slow, you're going to move your body slow. And if the music stops, you have to freeze and try to stay in control of your body. Being in control of your body is a really important part of self-control. Let's see how me and the boys do with our freeze dance game. Ooh, okay. Oh, AJ, you kept moving! Whoa! You gotta stop! wouldn't fall down. So let's try it again. Ready? Another part of self-control is being in control of what you say and when you say it. A great game to play to practice your impulse control when it comes to speaking when you're supposed to is the 3-second game. The 3-second game works like this. I'm going to ask Trace a question that I know he knows the answer to, but he has to wait 3 seconds before he gives an answer. This is really helpful in the classroom where when teachers ask questions, a lot of times the kids want to say the answer out loud without raising their hands. Sometimes, even if you know the right answer, not having self-control can end up getting you in trouble because you're not speaking when you're supposed to. Let's see how Trace does with the 3-second game. What's your name?
Trace.
Ooh! Was that easy or hard to do?
Easy!
All right, let's try another one. What's your favorite color?
Red.
Do you have a dog?
Yes.
Oh, it's getting harder. See, when your body starts to wiggle, that's how you know you're starting to lose self-control. That one was harder, right? Okay. Another game you can play for self-control is the bubble game. And this game goes like this. For the first round, I blew bubbles, and I told the boys they could pop as many bubbles as they want. Then, for the second round, I blew bubbles and told the boys that they were not allowed to pop any bubbles. And I don't know about you guys, but we love to pop bubbles around here. So it took a lot of self-control to stay still and not pop those bubbles. Let's see how Trace and AJ did.
Whoa. Whoa.
Remember, self-control is something we're all working on every day, and the best way to get control of yourself is to practice. So I hope you guys get to practice some of the games we showed you today and use some of the strategies we talked about, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a great day!